Last week, Randy, I had to do it all myself.
Yeah, I
It
know.
followed me because I dropped the ball, man, and had to carry it all by my little lonesome.
And
But we
I bailed on you too. So yeah, you were left to do it. But Teddy, that's why they pay you the big bucks, because you were able to pull it off without a hitch. So thank
yeah.
you, Teddy.
How you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm good. Randy Wooden with Goodwill Industries of Northwest North Carolina. Run our professional center here in, well, Winston-Salem. But I have clients across the country. And so happy to help. If you're a job seeker, you can find me on LinkedIn. Reach out. Everything we do is free. We do work by appointment. So again, just get on the calendar. We work with all levels of professionals, all different industries and so forth. But you know what? Enough about me. Teddy, who are you and what are we doing here today on this Monday? Huh?
Oh my golly, man. Hey, for those who have never met me, I'm a LinkedIn strategist, trainer, and coach. I also teach Google Workplace as a business tool, and I love to help business professionals who want more value out of those business tools. And we do webinars and seminars and workshops and corporate training programs. Heck, we stand on the street corner and teach people who walk by how to do this stuff, Randy. So Randy and I get together every week, a couple different times. We get together on Mondays to tell a few stories and a few tips that might be useful. And then we tell you who our speaker is going to be this coming Wednesday, 11:55 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But Randy, you know what? That new program that we put together that you're executing on every week, I love it, man. So talk about birthdays, deaths, and
birthdays, celebrity deaths, if you will, events that went on this date. So we're talking Monday, June 6th. And if we look back on births from this date, remember Bjorn Borg, tennis player, 1956. And you know what? He's only like a few years older than I am. And I remember him back when I was a kid, if you know what I mean. So I guess that makes me old. But Tommy Smith, you may remember that name. Nowadays, national anthem, people take a knee, they stay in the locker room, they stay in whatever. There's protests left and right. And you can argue whether that's good, bad, or indifferent. And that's part of the point why I mentioned Tommy Smith. He was one of the ones, remember he did the Black Power move.
Olympics.
68 Olympics.
68?
68 Olympics. 68 Olympics. I think it was Tokyo. He and I think two others did that from the medal stand. And that just was a huge controversy. Let's just say that. So deaths on this date. Remember the guy who once said, "Give me liberty or give me death"?
I bet he's dead.
Yeah. Pretty sharp dude, man. No, Patrick Henry passed away on this date in 1799. He was 68 years old. Also on this date, Robert F. Kennedy was assassinated, 68. And here's a quiz for you. The year this fellow died was 1948. His name is Louis Lumiere, Lumiere.
Was he the dude that was in that cartoon with the Roadrunner?
That was, you know what? That's a good guess. But if you think about it, think about light bulbs and lumens, Lumen. And I have no idea whether there's a real correlation there, but I just made that up. So go with that. Here's the deal. In 1895, he and his brother made the first motion picture. So it would take light to, shine through the film, I guess. So maybe that's where lumens came into play. Maybe. I don't know.
We'll do some research and figure that out.
We'll go with that. Couple things were created on this date or founded or started. One was the YMCA in London, 1844. And oddly enough, a guy named Walter Chrysler. What are the odds that a guy with that name would found the Chrysler Corporation? I mean, just total coincidence. I know this happened in 1925 and probably one of the biggest things, 1944 D-Day, Operation Overlord in Normandy, France, as World War II was really big then. So, but yeah, that was on this date in 44. My quick story, and I guess I don't know how quick it'll be, but talking leadership Winston-Salem for the last 8, 9, 10 months, it seems like. Well, that wrapped up. Last week we had our closing day and graduation day, and so just a lot of memories, a lot of impact that was had. And, just like with anything, I think the more you get involved with something, the more you get out of it. But you also begin to hear from other people who have been through it too in years past, and they share their stories and so forth. So it's a little bit, I don't want to sound like this is some fraternity kind of secret, because it isn't. These are all people that are well-intentioned and leaders in the community, but it really is cool to kind of reach out of your comfort zone, so to speak, and to have an open mind to be exposed to things that you haven't been exposed to, good, bad, or indifferent. Mm-hmm. And having been exposed to him, a preacher I used to know in Ohio would talk about when it comes to salvation, what if somebody's never heard about, let's say if they're a Christian, they've never heard about Christ and the way to heaven, so to speak, what are they held accountable for? If they've never heard it, does that doom them to something else? And he talked about available light. And I'll kind of use that from not a religious standpoint, but to kind of carry it to leadership and say, well, look, now that you've been exposed to these things, now you're more accountable. What are you going to do about it? Versus, you just kind of live like that and you're not exposed to it. And so therefore you're not accountable. And I guess that's kind of one of the main things to get from this is, now that awareness has been raised, ultimately now, what are you going to do in terms of next steps? So, and Teddy, you'll like this. In our group, we had 8 connectors were selected.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And there are about 62 in our group. Me being the 62nd one alphabetically. So
yeah,
I'm used to that. But anyway, our role is to help keep the other folks tethered together. And so you and I are pretty good about doing that kind of stuff.
Leadership Winston-Salem class of 2022 parties at your house every other weekend.
If you're buying, I'll open up the East Wing and we'll let the party start. Yeah. So that's the deal, man. So like I said, leadership is wrapped up for the year, but it continues on with involvement, engagement, getting involved in other activities and efforts in the community. So it's been a great experience, and I was very grateful to have a chance to participate in it.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. So all right, here's my story. Don't get stuck on doing something because it's easy and you can repeat it over and over again. Just because you like doing it, just because it's easy to do, just because you figured out how to do it and you think it may create some value, don't keep doing it unless you know it's creating value.
Okay.
I had this guy who pays me an arm and a leg and 2 kneecaps every month to coach him.
Wow.
And I've taught him all kinds of different ways to use LinkedIn as a business tool. And he's gotten caught up and hooked on one thing. He does this one thing over and over and over again. And he measures it 17 different ways from Sunday. And he sends me these reports about the results he's getting. And they're, what's the word? Piss poor. Can I say that on the show?
You can, Teddy. It's our show. We'll say whatever we want to.
I mean,
that's too bad.
They're horrible. He's not getting any value from it at all, but yet he keeps doing it. Mm-hmm. And I finally dropped the hammer on him. I said, man, you're wasting your time. Yeah. You're creating, unhappiness and sorrow for yourself because the numbers suck. I said, stop doing it. And so I say to all of us, including myself, just because you know how to do it, you can do it easily, you can crank it out day in and day out, you don't want to keep doing it unless it's creating value for you. So try something new, do something different, and see if you can create some better value. Don't get stuck on the easy.
Not on the easy. Hey, it's been 2 years plus now, or roughly right around 2 years since George Floyd's death and murder. Yeah. And of course, that sparked a huge awareness and change in our culture and society. And, you can argue how much talk has been placed into action and so forth. And, that's a huge topic. But Stan Kimmer returns as our guest coming up on June the 8th on Wednesday, 11:55. Stan was on, I'm going to say about a year or so ago and brought us up to date. He's one of the best speakers, presenters I've heard.
Yeah.
Talking about the DEI topic. diversity, equity, inclusion. And now that we're about 2 years in, there's some twists and turns that have occurred. He's one of the nationally recognized experts on this field, in this field. And so he'll stop by to share where we are and sort of what he sees out there on the horizon. He's got some new material, some new information to share. So I know it's a topic that gets a lot of press, but you're going to get a straight scoop from a guy who's, he's been at this thing before it became a big deal in the news. He's been living this and walking this walk for a long time.
Yeah, it's good. He January 2021, he was with us.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, I'll share a tip for you. This won't take long, but I think it would be important to be mindful to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
Not just when you're leaving your phone number, but also when you're leaving your name. Maybe take time to spell it. If you're leaving a voice message, even if it's on my cell phone, I can hit redial. But you know what? Sometimes if you're calling from work, all I get is the main phone number. I don't get your direct. So I don't know who it was that called. You're not in my phone, so I may not answer it in the first place. So if you really are interested in getting a return phone call, leave a message, but slow down. It will also help you sound a little more professional and authoritative. So I'll leave it at that. But yeah, plenty to be mindful of.
When I moved down here from Maryland,
Mm-hmm.
I started working with people. That was one of the things that a lot of my clients said, can you slow down just a little bit, Yankee? And I get it. It's important to do that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
All right, here's my tip, buddy. This is one of my pet peeves that I don't hold back on at all when I hear people do it. And we all do it lots of times, where we use the 4-letter word just.
Oh, that 4-letter word. Okay.
We use the 4-letter word just when we are referring to who we are, what we do, and our value. Oh, I'm just a project manager. Oh, I'm just a small business. Oh, or we do it this way. I just wanted to call you. You reminded me about that one earlier, Randy.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we often demean, I think that's the right word, demean or devalue ourselves and what we can do when we put that 4-letter word in front of it. And I want us all to stand up straight, have a little backbone, be a little bold. Mm-hmm. I use this phrase that my wife hates when I say it, be a little bit pompous when you tell people who you are and what you do. Mm-hmm. And never use the word just when you're talking about who you are.
Teddy, we should put together a blurb or two and maybe do it as a video, words to leave out of our speech.
Yeah. You know who could help us with that?
I have a few ideas. Yeah.
Yeah. We could get our, I'm trying to remember her name. Our wordsmith lady.
Well, we have Sarah,
Sarah Elkins.
Rosinski,
Elkins, yeah. And who's the,
Margaret Morris is local. Yeah. We've got a few other ones that have come on to talk about different words. So lots to digest with how we communicate.
Rooks.
Yes. Yeah. Sound smarter than you are, or something like that. Or look. What is that? Write and speak as smart as you are, or something like that.
Dang, Skippy.
Hey, so much for the all the good stuff today, Teddy. But the big show's on Wednesday coming up, 11:55. Stan Kimmer. He's got his own consultancy. He's had it for years. He'd worked in corporate America back in the day. So this guy's been around and he's seen a lot as it relates to DEI. And he'll share where we are and sort of where we're headed and some new information that he's going to bring forth. And we hope you'll join us and join in with questions and comments for Stan coming up on Wednesday.
Cool. All right, buddy. Go on off and have fun. And I'll see you in a couple of days.
Okay. See you.
Bye.
Bye.